It's dirty trucking. I'm still up. And you can see by the expression, and you can tell by the way I'm talking, that this shit bothering me. Something's wrong here. That DOT document was altered. I know damn well hell I read just special check on there and remember seeing a Y after it. Because after he handed me the paper, I had just fixed the lights. My hands was dirty. I sat there on the truck in the back of the DOT weigh station, the Monroe Station northbound, on I-75 in Michigan. Cleaned my hands off. Then took a look at the paperwork. I read on there what he said about the headlight. And then I remember reading just special check on there. There's something fucked up going on. And I'm tired of it. Why am I the only one noticing shit being switched? Ain't nobody else caught that? That I sent these documents to? Anybody else caught that? That document had to be altered. I mean, I left it in the outside mailbox for after hours when you get in after they gone. They got a little mailbox on the building. You put your paperwork in there. And I told a safety guy, when my dispatcher used to leave me paperwork, he used to print it out for the load he want me to get because he finna leave. I used to come in, it'd be something wrong with the chassis, a light out, a wire pulled out the light, or I got to replace the light before we go out, before I pull out. All after he done left the paperwork in the box. I pulled in Friday. After I left that DOT station, I straight rolled up to 8 Mile, got the container taken off. Didn't have time to go to the other rail yard to get the chassis turned in. So I brought it back to the yard. DOT just looked at that chassis. All the lights was working. I didn't have no flat. And the only glad hand I had a problem with was the blue. The blue, the lip was kind of loose. So when it turned, the air holes would kind of slip up. So I zip tied it to make sure it would stay in place. I come in today after the weekend. Now that paperwork in the mailbox the whole weekend. Now mind you, I took a photo of it and sent it to the terminal manager before, and the owner of the truck, before I put it in the mailbox. That's after I read it at the DOT station. I read what was on it. And I know I saw just special check and a Y after that. The letter Y. Just special check and the letter Y. I no longer see that on that document. The safety calling me, telling me he got to assign me points. Well, they gave you paperwork. That's something I said in that video when I was at the bus stop after DOT pulled me in. I was in the video saying, hey, they just got to give me paperwork. And that's what the safety guy said. Well, they gave you paperwork. Tell me, unfortunately, well, this comes with CSA points. For you and the company, it is 6 points. But it hadn't dawned on me yet to even look that something was wrong. But I knew something was wrong today. Coming in there to a chassis, we don't work weekends. They got a gate that's secure. You got to have a code to get in. That has been open since, I believe, the ice storm. I think it was either Thursday or Friday when it started staying open. Been open all weekend. You just drive right in. That secure gate, you got to have a code to get in. It's just been open. I come in today, dispatcher told me he got a load, go hook to that chassis that I brought in there. I go back there, hooked to it. Everything appeared to be fine until I started doing my inspection. Why is the tire flat? 2 lights in the back out. I looked to see why. The wire's been pulled out. How? And then I'm talking to safety about it, about the flat. He said, well, maybe you could have ran over something. You could have picked up something. Where? DOT just looked at it. I drove from there up to 8 Mile. They got the box taken off. And from there, back down to the yard. And parked in the back. You could have picked up something. You just never know. You could have picked up. No. Oh, I picked up something, huh? Then how did the wires get pulled out the lights? How did it get unplugged? Oh, I picked that up too? How did the wires off the lights out the back get unplugged? The tire flat? And then the lip on the red Glad hand was too loose. So when I made the U-turn to turn it around to get it pulled away from the wall so I could do the inspection of the tires and the lights in the back. By the time I got out the truck, the red Glad hand was slipping up out the connection. That ain't the Glad hand I had the problem with. It was the blue. So I took a hammer and tightened the lip back down. And sure enough, it was the blue, like I said when I first got the chassis, because I didn't zip tie it. By the time I got to the yard to drop the chassis, the air hose that came up out of there. But for some reason, when I picked up at the yard, the red Glad hand was loose. That ain't the one I had the problem with. Fix that, you just tighten the lip down. Take a hammer, tap it down. Some grip pliers, something to push it down. But I noticed why my blue Glad hand was coming up out of there. The notch that's built in on the Glad hand to help hold it in place has been smoothed off of the Glad hand. These are new Glad hands that the owner of the truck put on there. And the notch is gone. The little circle notch in the middle that helps hold it in place is gone. It looks like the whole thing's just been smoothed off of there. I've never in my life had a Glad hand with that just disappear. Now, wear down, yeah, but just completely off of there? No. It was gone. All you see is where it was, where it used to be. That's why the blue Glad hand was kept slipping up out of there. The notch is gone off there, the circular notch. What are you doing? Who's altering documents? You know, I noticed this. It's always one at the job that I noticed that switching shit going on with. Happened at the last job. Old payroll lady was leaving. She brought a new one in there, trained her. And I noticed it with her. She was sending shit. Shit would just get fucked up that she was sending something to change. It was with the payroll lady. Now here at this company, I'm noticing it with the dispatcher. What is that? And I noticed it when I first got there. He called my phone with his phone and he sent me an email. And I forgot what it was that had changed. But something he had sent had changed just like that. On the phone. How is that possible? How the fuck is that possible? How the fuck is they getting away with that? How can you alter a document? And then when you do the shit, You done already changed the document. If I got it in my phone anywhere, you done changed the document in my phone. I ain't tripping. What the fuck going on here? You done something. I got assigned 6 CSA points for a headlight that burned out that I had no control over. And the DOT officer said he was just doing a safety check. But I get 6 CSA points for it, according to safety? Talking about he can't contest this? Asking me, do I have the original paperwork? No, what I think what you're asking is, do I have any documentation that might prove that something was altered if I was to notice it? But I put the original in the mailbox outside the company. Who altered it? And it's supposed to have been there the whole weekend. They don't work the weekend. We don't work the weekend. The gate was open the whole weekend. But I know after the weekend was over, when I came in, the chassis that was associated with that inspection had a flat. 2 wires pulled from the lights in the back, and the lip on the glad hand, red glad hand, had been widened so the glad hand would slip out. What the fuck going on here? I know damn well I ain't tripping. I ain't crazy. Shit being changed right before my motherfucking eyes. And I know I can't be the only one catching and seeing this shit.